In fact, I walked through an airport the other day. I traveled 200,000 miles a year lecturing.
Do you really?
And I overheard somebody say to a friend as I walked by, if I didn't know he was dead, I'd say that was Art Linkletter that just went by.
Great protection, unloads, wide open. It's Tucker to the 5. First and goal, Lamar.
TeleCable 13 is Arlington TeleCable's local origination channel. TeleCable 13 is in its 8th year of providing quality local programming for the citizens of Arlington, producing approximately 14 hours of local programs each week. Programs like Arlington Business Today, sponsored by the Communications Committee of the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Facts and Issues, hosted by members of the Arlington League of Women Voters. Your Kids and Mine, featuring Arlington School District and PTA activities, and sponsored by the Arlington Council of PTAs. Changing Families of the 90s, sponsored by the Family and Individual Services of Tarrant County. UTA Today, an informational program featuring the faculty and staff along with the activities from the University of Texas at Arlington. Arlington MD, where members from the Arlington Medical Association discuss current topics in the medical profession. And On Exhibit, featuring exhibits from the Fielder Museum and the Arlington Museum of Art. Community leaders have this to say regarding the local programming available on TeleCable 13.
We in Arlington are very pleased with the community support that we receive from Arlington TeleCable. I personally have an opportunity to communicate with the people of our community through a regular weekly program that we call Let Me Talk to the Mayor. It gives us an opportunity to address the agenda, to respond to needs and interest in the community, but that's only one of many benefits that we receive from the local access that is provided by Arlington TeleCable.
Speaking as the Executive Director of Theater Arlington, the time and countless hours of effort put in on our behalf from Arlington TeleCable have made the public totally accessible to us and us to them. We would be not where we are today in Arlington, Texas without that help.
In Arlington, social service concerns continue to be a problem that perplexes our community as we've suffered from economic decline. One of the problems is getting the word out to our community about how they can assist and what can be done. The Arlington TeleCable station has been most helpful in doing that.
Now that you have a sample of the local programs on TeleCable 13, sit back and enjoy the following excerpts from the rest of our programming schedule. TeleCable 13, reflecting the interests of the Arlington community.
We're spread out in 300 different nations, each with a different language. So that it...
300 different nations?
That's right, and dialects running off the languages.
Did that make it difficult to communicate?
Well, it certainly did. We communicated in various ways. We didn't have modern communication, but through smoke signals like the Native Americans here.
Okay, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You see? You just keep on slicing, keep on slicing, keep on slicing. You can go very fast. Look at this. Can you imagine? Look at this. Very small. And then you set it aside. You want to have a nice color contrast of a dish.
Bats can actually be trained to actually reverse the process and come out during the daytime and sleep during the night.
Is that what yours do?
Mine, I might like to have them that way, but I'd prefer to just let them stay in one cycle of the life, night life.
Yes, because if they do go back to zoos or somewhere, then they would need to be with the other bats or as the other bats are.
World Leaders is the category. Who said,
From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste.
Lamar Chris.
Winston Churchill.
Yes, exactly right. Winston Churchill. Here's a toss-up question dealing with clauses. How many main clauses are in this sentence?
Bel Mustar.
2.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's one of those things, if he missed it, they never would have forgiven him, but since he guessed exactly right, he'll be the hero of the day. 2 is correct. I won't even take time to read the question. Here.
Mayor, certainly one of the issues that is facing Arlington and high on your agenda is keeping the Rangers here. I know one of the recent efforts on the city's part is a proposal of a new stadium to the club. And certainly it's high in the agenda and the hearts of supporters of the Rangers. Perhaps you'd like to share with us what that stadium might mean for the Rangers and for the citizens of Arlington.
I think that Arlington has captured the attention of the entire region in acting like the host city of a major league baseball team ought to act, and that is to address their needs. We have put a very complete and thoroughly developed proposal for a new stadium that would be located on the existing property adjacent to the present stadium.
Ahead to Willie, and Sublett lays it up and count the bucket.
Have you ever heard the word momentum? It has changed in the pit.
Willie Sublett, though, Coach, really kept it above the floor with those long arms, kept it alive. It's 43-40. The foul is on Charles Hickman, his second.
Judge in 3, coming on strong, though, in the second half of this race.
Grapevine and Martin going to win it. Oh, I don't know.
No, it looked to me like Pasco got him at 23-1.
One member remaining in the John Criswell, Mike Stone group. This one online looks to be a little closer, Pat. That's not bad. Keep going. Get in the hole.
Go in.
Look at that.
Go in.
Inches.
Nice.
Just inches away. And a nice effort from the last members. Line drive. This might find the gap. Coming on is the center fielder. Diving. Gets behind him. It'll be 2-0. Here's Cockle trying for a 3-bagger. And Troy Cockle clears the bases as Arlington opens up a 2-0 lead. RBIs number 16 and 17 for the Arlington Colts second baseman.
This is Tony Arangio. Welcome to today's edition of Fourth Row Center. This is an Italian face that just did this. That's why I was able to do that.
He said, you know, when you're making a movie, he said the director may get in an argument with the scriptwriter, and the scriptwriter may get in an argument with her production assistant. But he said the star doesn't get into the middle of that. He goes back to the dressing room and waits for them to settle that, and when they get it all settled, then he comes back and finishes the movie. He said he thought that was one of the reasons that Ronald Reagan could always tolerate so much infighting among the staff.
Bill says that over 90% of the men and women who are incarcerated in our prisons today were repeatedly told by their parents that one of these days you'll end up in jail.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and I've often wondered what would have happened to those kids had mom and dad said, sweetheart, you keep studying like that, one of these days you'll win a scholarship to the university.
Yeah. What do you feel that is the most important skill that a new person can develop when getting into real estate?
Well, I feel like communication is probably one of the most important things for a person to have. We have to communicate to our customers and our clients, and I think that's very important.
We're going to take this branch off right here. If I cut this branch using this saw from right here, and of course I'm going to cut it back at the point of the trunk, but if I cut it, it's going to fall down and it's going to rip the bark. So the first thing I want to do is come down here.
For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute.
It hasn't snowed a single flurry, but Santa dear, we're in a hurry.
Represent the 2,500 members of their faith in Arlington who joyfully join together to sing Happy Birthday, America. And this land is your land.
It's a huge float.
Beautiful job they've done.
It's tremendous, it really is.
What's the biggest disappointment? I guess not winning the U.S. Open.
Well, of course, in golf, that was.
In golf,
well,
yeah.
I had so many chances. If I could have shot 69 last round, I would have won 9 U.S. Opens. So I had my chances, but it just seemed like something happened. You didn't know when it was going to happen. I wasn't expecting it to happen. And I didn't want it to happen. And
if there's one thing that I have been able to do and help with is the idea of getting the first family involved with the Texas Rangers. I mean, one of my greatest crowning accomplishments of the summer was getting the picture of George Bush, President of the United States, and me with Texas Rangers hats in his fishing boat on the front page of every newspaper in America.
I think when we get out of bed in the morning, the Lord says, okay, I just gave you a 2-run lead. Use this day, and that's what I'd like to do. I never really planned anything. What I wanted to be was a Major League Baseball player. I was able to accomplish that. Everything else has really been neat, it's been nice, but it's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm going to give my energies to.
The Colts are going to be a little different in that area once we decide who those people are going to be.
You're really going to have to gain some experience early and kind of stay injury-free, aren't you?
That's right. We feel like that we have the first teams, we can be pretty good because of the athletes we have. After that, right now, because of inexperience and the drop-off in talent somewhat, it's going to be touch and go if we have some people go down.
Yes, the key is trying to pick a foundation that matches your skin tone as closely as possible. It makes a difference in how all the rest of the makeup does look on the skin.
I find that the hardest thing to do.
Oh, yes, most women do. If you find a color, first of all, that matches so closely, and you use a sponge, it does give you more of a professional look.
It's one of the benefits of going to school in New York City. Oh. Every resource that you would ever want or need is right there, the garment district. In fact, the fashion design building, and also for the BBA students, is on 40th and 7th Avenue, which is right in the middle of the garment district. So.
Good. Rich! You're upset. Grab the bar.
Oh.
Grab the bar, Rich.
Real sad.
Oh, and look at me. You're mad. You're real mad. When you steal your baseball, maybe you'll get mad. Look at me, Rich.
That'll probably work.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Go ahead, please.
Yes, we had an incident at Fitzgerald this week where 2 kindergartners were left out in the playground. I'm very concerned about the emphasis not just being on the children and on the parents. What is the Arlington Independent School District doing to deal with the teachers and accounting for the children in their care?
They were young and they were poor. They came to the big city. He found work and she cared for their newborn baby. But his job didn't last. They lost their apartment and their furniture. So they took all they could carry, their clothes, their TV, to their new home, their car.